Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to show you what settings broky uses in CS2. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. By the way, we are doing free giveaways every month. In these giveaways, you can win various CS2 skins and free CS2 course access passes created by a FACEIT level 10 coach who has experience in high tier CS2 teams. To sign up, simply visit the CS2 Pulse giveaway page and follow the instructions. Link is in the description. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. So firstly, let's go over broky's regular video settings. So his display mode is set to full screen. Of course, his aspect ratio is set to normal 4:3. His resolution is set to 1280 x 960, and his refresh rate is set to its max possible point. And finally, his brightness is set to 93. Moving on to the advanced video tab, broky uses boost player contrast set to enabled. His VSync is set to disabled. His NVIDIA G-Sync is automatically disabled. His NVIDIA Reflex low latency is enabled. His max FPS in game is set to 999, its max possible point. The max FPS in menus is unknown, but you can just use 200. It's pretty much the same. When it comes to the multi-sampling anti-aliasing mode, he sets it to 4x MSAA. Global shadow quality is set to high. Dynamic shadows is set to all. Model texture detail set to medium. Texture filtering mode is set to anisotropic 4x. Shader detail is set to low. Particle detail set to low. Ambient occlusion set to high. High dynamic range set to quality. And finally, the fidelity FX super resolution is set to disabled highest quality. Now let's move on to broky's mouse settings. So when it comes to broky's mouse settings, broky uses his DPI set to 400 on his mouse. His sensitivity in game, however, is set to 2.57, so it is a bit of a higher sensitivity, but it goes down because of the DPI. And when it comes to his eDPI, he uses it set to 1028. His window sensitivity is on his computer set to 6, and finally his zoom sensitivity in game is set to 1. Now let's move on to the Crosshair settings. So if you want to copy broky's Crosshair, this is gonna be the code. Link is gonna be in the description where you can find it. You can paste this code in right here, press import, and you see broky's Crosshair is like this. So let's check it out in game. So in game, this is what broky's Crosshair looks like. It's a really large crosshair and it's colored bright yellow. For the color, it's a very nice color simply because it doesn't blend in with a lot of positions in regular maps. Even in Dust 2 or Mirage, it's way too yellow to be blending into any spots of that map. So this is gonna be one of the better colors for the crosshair. And when it comes to the shape, the crosshair is very big with a very small dot. So this is gonna be an ideal crosshair, for example, for anyone who doesn't like small crosshairs. For example, for beginners, this is gonna be one of the ideal crosshairs because they're really not used to these small crosshairs and they have to get used to their sensitivity. So this is gonna be one of the better crosshairs for them. And also, it can also be very good for other players who are advanced or intermediate level. This is gonna be a really good crosshair for spraying because when you have a large crosshair, it's for some reason way easier to get used to the spraying pattern. So this is gonna be one of the better crosshairs for playing aggressive with rifles, for example, and spraying. But when it comes to one tapping, this crosshair might be a bit difficult because it has a really small gap which doesn't even fit the opponent's heads, and the crosshair size itself doesn't really match up with the size of the opponent's head, only if the opponent is really close up. So for that reason, I wouldn't recommend using this crosshair, only if you are planning to improve on your headshot percentage and trying to play better by one tapping. But on the other hand, if you're just gonna spray and play really aggressively, then it's also gonna be one of the better crosshairs. And as well, you have to keep in mind that broky is an AWPer, so he's definitely gonna be one of the players who's not focused on the rifle as much as the AWP. So for that reason, this crosshair might be really comfortable for him. So now let's go over the view model settings. So if you enter your console and paste in this code, link is gonna be in the description on where you can find and press enter, and you have broky's view model. So the view model is fairly simple. It's one of the main view models that a lot of pros love to use. Is just a very simple and clean view model, shifting the default view model on CS2 slightly to the right and the bottom part so these arms don't block off your screen. That's the main priority of this command in the view model, and most of the pros love to use it. It's definitely one of the better view models to use. Now if we go over to the HUD settings, broky has his HUD color set to bright white and his HUD scale set to 0.95. So in game it looks something like this. It's a very nice HUD color. It's just a preference for broky, but for me it's a very clean color. And finally, when it comes to the radar settings, broky uses a very different radar setting compared to other pros, so I'm gonna discuss it over a bit more briefly. So his radar centers, the player is set to no. For example, a lot of the pros love to use it on yes. Radar is rotating is set to yes, and the toggle square shape with scoreboard is set to no for him. And when it comes to his radar HUD size, it's set to 1, and radar map zoom is set to 0.4. So mainly the biggest difference in his settings is going to be that he uses radar centers to player and toggle square shape with scoreboard set to no. So in game, as you see, this is what his minimap or radar looks like, and as you see, it's very difficult for players who are not used to this type of radar because it's moving on the sides as you are, and it's kind of tricky even for me because I've never used this setting, but I guess broky uses it. It's a preference for him, and if you want to try out this setting, you can definitely try it out. Just keep in mind that it is a bit difficult to get used to, so you might mess up some positions that you see in the minimap. And finally, let's talk about the launch options. So broky goes into Steam, make sure to close CS before you enter it, and then you just pretty much go into properties like so, right click on this Counter-Strike logo, and once you're in this launch options tab, you can just quickly paste in this exact launch option, and this is just broky's launch options. Is for its FPS and the refresh rate, and it just automatically says so he doesn't have to set it in the future. Thank you everyone for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. These were the settings that broky uses in CS2. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment down in the comments below on what you want us to do next, and I'll see you in the next video.